Greetings, everyone. Happy Halloween. This will be the last time we meet before Halloween, so I feel like I could say that now. Welcome to Salt Project Community Open Hour for October 20th, 2022. I'm your Salt Project Community Manager. My name is Jimmy Chunga. Very grateful that you could join us today. We've got a great open hour lined up for you. Here's where you can find Salt Project, including but not limited to YouTube, GitHub, Slack, Twitch, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, and of course, the Hacks podcast, which can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts. Check out the Hacks, starring Thomas Hatch, the inventor of salt, and yours truly.
Chunga, I don't mean to interrupt, but you're not sharing your slides.
Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Okay, hold on a second. Thanks for letting me know. This is always like, yeah, another thing's kind of freaking out. Give me 1 second. Give me a minute. Sorry, friends. This has been happening. Thankfully, it's not just happening to me. I've been in a couple of meetings where this has happened this week, where people think they're sharing and then they're not sharing. Can you see it now? Can we see it okay? How is it now?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go. That's where you can find us. I was doing so well too, man. I was like in there. I was in the zone.
You were doing awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm grateful you did, and not only that, I adjusted the date today, Elisa, so you didn't have to do that. So
I noticed, and I appreciated it.
Here's what's going to happen today in open hour. Going to have some general updates with me, and then Elisa's going to take things. We talk about some really cool stuff happening in the Salt Docs working group. Really excited when I talked to Elisa earlier this week about what her and team are working on, and then our good friend Nick Hughes, who is manly today. I have not seen this on you ever, I don't believe. Is this a new thing for you, or do you do this every so often?
This is probably the longest the beard has been, possibly ever, and I'm going to see where it takes me through the winter.
You know, I'm not going to lie, Nick. You were one of the first people to hop in the group while we were waiting, and I didn't even recognize it was you. I literally thought to myself, hey, we've got some new community guys here today. That's fun. So anyway, so Nick is going to talk about some user group meetups. I was really excited when Nick wanted to talk about this. Made me happy. And then our good friend Thomas Phipps is going to update us on what's happening with the community forums, and then Q&A. So open hour every first and third Thursday, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain. You can do the math further from there. Our next Salt Project Community Open Hour will be on November 3rd after Halloween. We hope you'll join us. And in the meantime, while you're waiting, please join the Salt Project Working Group. We have a bunch of them. There's all kinds of them for you to check out. You can go to saltproject.io and see what's going on there. Everything from Windows to security to, I mean, you name it. Docs, like you'll find out here in a second. There's a lot of them for you to become involved with, and we'd love to have your help. Let's hand it over to Elisa Rock now and find out about all these projects she's about to get started with.
All right, thanks, Chunga. So as Chunga mentioned, he and I were talking earlier this week about what we're doing in the Salt Docs working group, and we're doing some exciting stuff. So he wanted me to share some of it with you. It's been kind of exciting ever since September. We kind of took a break from the Docs working group for the summer, but it came back alive in September because we had two really awesome new aspiring technical writers join who really wanted to make a meaningful contribution to SALT, which I'm super excited about. One of them is able to make it to the call today, and that's Bennett Charles. So hi, Bennett. Jennifer has technical issues, so she couldn't make it today, but Jennifer Hollers is the other technical writer who is a member of the Docs working group. So it's been really exciting. Both of them are going to work on a major doc initiative that I just personally haven't quite had the time for, even though I've been interested in it. I'll talk about Jennifer's project first. She's going to improve the Salt Docs landing page, which really needs it. It's really outdated and not helpful, and we need to make it better. Since Jennifer's interests are kind of UX oriented, she's going to develop some personas for the Salt Docs and for the Salt community. If you know what that means from UX, that just basically means like determining who our audience is for the Salt Docs and Then once those user personas have been validated, she'll work on then creating user stories and user flows for how these different personas will interact with our docs landing page so that they can quickly find the documentation that they need in the SALT docs. And so that's an exciting project. I'm really excited to see what she does with it. So it'll be cool. The other project, this is Bennett's project. Hi, Bennett. And that's going to be a SALT module documentation quality standards project. This is one that we started working on, but we weren't able to finish. And now Bennett's going to pick up where we left off on that. Basically, what Bennett's going to be working on is developing a set of guidelines and templates to help get the SALT module documentation to meet our quality standards. There's a lot of varying quality in the modules. It would be nice to have like consistent organization and content across them. And it would be nice to just ensure that at least for the core SALT modules, the ones that are heavily used and supported by the core SALT team, that those are in a good place. So after those guidelines have been established and any kind of supporting resources that we'll share with the community to help them write higher quality module documentation. Then we'll work on auditing those module documentation, the module docs, and get them into compliance with those new quality policies. And so both of these projects are probably going to involve working with the community on some level. So I'm just asking you all kindly to just be supportive as Jennifer and Bennett might reach out to some of you and ask for your feedback or participation while they're doing research or organizing any kind of events around these projects. So on that note, I want to just really ask Bennett, is there anything you want to add about the module documentation project at all?
No, I don't have anything to add yet. Just, coming up with ideas, talking to Elisa. So I don't really have anything right now.
Very good. Yeah, as Bennett said, we're still kind of in the planning and discovery phases for a lot of this. And right now I'm working on onboarding these two technical writers so that they can contribute to the project. And once that's done, then we'll kick these projects off. So exciting times. That's it for me, Chunga. Thanks.
Excellent. And Bennett, thank you. Just hearing about what you guys were working on, it was really, really exciting. And this is yet another example of getting the community involved with these different working groups. We benefit greatly. SALT benefits greatly from community input, as you all know. So if you have, whether you're watching this live now or whether it's on YouTube, if you have any interest at all, go again to saltproject.io, check out all of the different working groups, and we'll get you started. We'll get you involved. Speaking of which, being involved, Nick Hughes, our former SALT community champion, Nick Hughes, has requested some time about something that, again, similar to Elisa, I was very excited to hear about. It's all yours, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chunga. So essentially, this was sort of something that I've been thinking about a little bit over the last several weeks. It grew out of the fact that, we didn't see a SALTconf this year, right? Even a virtual one. And so, I was sort of playing around like, hey, man, if I showed up in Salt Lake City, would anybody come and see me, right? Just sort of have something impromptu and informal. But the more I started thinking about it, I think that the community was sort of relying upon VMware to push out some sort of conference that's related to the open source software. And it seems, and again, I don't speak for VMware at all, not affiliated, but it seems like they're probably looking to roll some of those talks and events into their existing conference, which makes sense. But I think that there would probably still be some excitement around maybe getting together and talking more from a SALT community perspective. And so instead of holding one centralized conference, where I know that a lot of people globally had issues coming to Salt Lake, and there was a push a while back to have a separate SALTconf in Europe for the folks abroad that would be a little bit closer to them. But sort of building on that and having maybe smaller single day events that are more regional. So, if we have a large user group that's in the Salt Lake area, or in the Mid-Atlantic, around Baltimore, Washington D.C., Virginia, maybe New York, within a few hours drive or train ride or something like that. I think that people might want to come and hang out and learn a little bit more about salt, maybe do some speaking. And so, we could get some speakers in, we could record those sessions just like SaltConf did. And that way, people who can attend in person or don't want to for whatever reason can still partake in some of the discussions asynchronously, and still have the food networking. It'll just be a smaller scale SaltConf, but we can't really say that, right? So hence the term Salt Project User Group Meetups, which I think came out of Chunga's head a while back. And so if we call it that, we already have an acronym and a website, and you can call it Spugum or Spugum, depending on how you want to pronounce that U. But basically that website just has a really small landing page with kind of my vision for what it could be, and looking for interest, right? People can go there and just say like, hey, I'm in Colorado and definitely interested in this, and I'm planning on taking that information and determining what kind of regional events we can put on, and it'll be more community led at that point. So I'm hoping that other people think this is an exciting thing. I hope there's some interest around it, and if you are interested, please go to spugum.com and let us know.
Fantastic. Well done. Let's hear it for Nick Hughes. Good initiative, man. I love it. And let's you and I talk about how we can make this fantastic. And for those of you who know, Nick touched on it, the lack of SaltConf. Didn't happen this year. There's a big, long explanation as to why. Those talks are still continuing though. So even though it didn't happen this year, that doesn't mean that it's gone for good. So we're still working on ways to make that happen. But in the meantime, I think this is fantastic, and having it community run is wonderful, in my opinion. So Nick, let's keep talking, and I think there may be ways where we can help with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
On our end of things as well.
And
so,
with
well done.
Another side effect of having no SaltConf this year was that Gary didn't have the opportunity to go back-to-back community champion. Yeah, right. It's a big responsibility that he has done nothing with, right? So I think that'd be a good idea. Okay, next up, let's thank you, Nick. Let's move right over to Thomas Phipps and the community forums. He's doing his best. What's that guy's name from Home Improvement? Al. If you look at Tom's camera, it's very, very Al-like happening today. Hey, there he is. Thomas Phipps, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on?
Hey, one thing I've noticed across both Reddit and the community lately is people getting confused when Salt Call works and Salt Minion doesn't. And I just wanted to put it out there that there is a reason. Salt Call has nothing to do with the daemon. It creates its own connections. It runs everything itself. It does not communicate with the daemon on the minion at all. So if you're using it to test network connections, it'll test that it can connect to the master, but it has no idea why the daemon might not be. It also means that any environment variables that might exist for any environment variables that exist for your user will be there for Salt Call, but might not be for the daemon that's running. So any modules that run might operate differently based on environment variables. And that's usually a big one when people are asking, why does it turn out this way when you use Salt Call, and why does it not when you're using Salt Minion? That's especially important in like System D environments, because System D gives a stripped down root environment. And as Wayne says, salt files matter too, because when you're using salt call, it'll read that salt file directly, but the daemon might not have access to it because it's under a different user.
Or starts in a different directory.
Exactly.
So if your salt file has a local true in it, then salt call will work all day long.
When you say salt file, you mean like the config file?
The capital S salt file.
Yeah, it's a runtime config file, basically.
Yep. If you're not familiar with the salt file, it basically it's like an environment variable, but it's actually just a file.
No.
And all of the salt entry points will inspect your current directory for a salt file. If it finds it, then it will apply whatever information that it finds in there to your command. So anything that you can pass as a command line flag, you can provide in your salt file, which makes it super duper handy for testing like different things, because rather than having to do like, say, salt call -- local every time, you can actually just put that in your salt file, or providing different file routes or pillar routes or whatever else you want to change. You can do all that in a salt file, and then just have like multiple different directories to provide different arguments. So it's super handy.
Oh, one of the most useless commands you could ever run: salt call -- local test.ping. All it's going to do is return true, because it's not connecting to the master. It's not doing anything. And all that test.ping does is return true.
I say it's not completely useless though, in that
it tells you the Python
know that the config is not totally and hopelessly borked.
Yeah, it'll tell you that the Python works.
You can import salt, I guess.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I had, is that there is a world of difference between salt call and salt minion.
I first of all, thank you, Thomas, but I have to say I'm slightly disappointed. It is Halloween, and I was hoping that you would refer to the daemon as the demon, at least for one meeting. I was hoping, you're right. Thank you, Wayne. That's what I was hoping for, but I guess I'll have to keep hoping. All right. Thank you very much, Thomas Phipps. Next, Q&A. Nick time, as I like to call it. Now, Nick has taken some time already. I'm hoping he has some questions. But it isn't just for Nick. It's for any of you that are with us right now that may have some questions for the SALT core team about how SALT operates. Go ahead. Any questions, anything at all? Let's start with you, Nick.
So I have some cues for Elisa, actually, based upon what she was talking about. I saw in Slack that the last two doc working group meetups were geared towards spinning up development environments to be able to contribute and things like that. Do you have more of those on the slate coming up?
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that question. So what we've been doing is both Bennett and Jennifer needed some training just on the basics of using Git and how to interact with Git using the fork and branch workflow that we use at the SALT project. So actually what I've been doing, this is not my only open source project. I spend a significant amount of time outside of SALT working for a project called the Good Docs project. That is about, I don't mean to put a plug in here, it's just I'm explaining what it is.
No, plug away.
That's all about improving documentation in open source and creating the tools and resources that can help with that. And we have a community of, we're always onboarding new technical writers into that community, and they always need, at least a fair chunk of them usually need some sort of Git training. And so me and Deanna, who's a VMware employee, who also contributes to the project, have developed a Git training workshop that we offer to members of our community that have been attending for more than a month and look like they're going to make a significant contribution. So we've developed an entire course for teaching people about how to use Git. It takes about 3 hours if you take it at the Good Docs Project, and I've been breaking it up into 3-hour chunks at the Salt Docs Working Group. Those materials are sort of open source, but it's and I can share them. We're still working on making them so that other people besides me and Deanna can run that workshop. But I'm open to offering it to more community members if community members need Git training. But that's what we've been doing in the Salt Docs Working Group. Do you have a follow-up question to that? Did I answer it?
So it sounds like with it running about 3 hours and the working groups being about an hour, I think you have one more session probably to get through all that material.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
But I can offer it. I'm happy to volunteer to run it again with a different working group or where it's needed. So. Okay. And I'm guessing that it wasn't recorded during those sessions. No, but I do have a recording of our Good Docs Git training if you want me to share that kind of stuff with you. So. Yeah,
I'll take anything that you have. So I have some tech writers that have been interested but haven't been able to make the meetups.
Nice.
And so the first one that you came out with, I didn't know that was happening, so I got really excited. I was like, "Hey, can anybody make it in the next 5 minutes?" And
Sorry
that didn't work. But then the last one, the timing didn't work either. So
yeah, Nick, let's sync up sometime, and I'd be happy to offer it again. It's not a one-time thing. So
okay,
yeah,
awesome. And okay, so that's my cues for Lisa. The only other thing that I had was, I think I put in a PR last night, 62921. I'm really just noting it because if anybody complains of annoying messages from Salt Cloud, that was my fault. And so removing the 2 lines in that PR will fix it. So we might have some people like manually patching, removing those 2 lines to get away from the annoying behavior. So feel free to blame me.
Is this the one with the fixed future warning always displayed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Git Cloud Provider is like always called for every provider, regardless of whether or not it's configured, which probably isn't the best thing, but the way that it's currently architected now, that function will always be called, and I annotated it with a deprecation message because I was just going down the stack and annotating all of the functions, and so I probably shouldn't have annotated that one.
Okay, is there anything else? Nick?
I just approved it.
Oh, cool.
Thanks, buddy.
Nick, do you have anything else, sir? No? You good?
No, I passed the torch.
Anybody else? Any other questions here? Well, you've got the core team. Going once?
It just got
Going
merged.
twice? That was easy. Nice. All right, if there are no further questions, Mr. Warner, you're up, sir.
Hold on, Chunga. There was a question in chat.
Oh, thank you. I missed it. Question in chat. Oh, the Wonder tutorial. Oh, it's Gary. Gary popping in. Yeah, we're apologies, Gary. Yes, it's coming. In short, it's coming. We hope to have it for the next open hour. I know I keep saying that. We were actually talking about it in a meeting yesterday. So I apologize for the delay. The Wonder tutorial is happening. Many are asking about that. And the goal here is to take an open hour and do a deep dive into what that is, switching everything from Tiamat to Wonder and all of the nuts and bolts and inside baseball that goes along with that. The plan is to really get in the weeds and answer every ask. Let's plan on that for the next one, Gary. Thank you very much, and we'll make sure that happens. Anything else? Any other questions?
Just a quick comment. You can think of Wonder as like the Matt Damon of the Salt project. We ran out of time. We'll get to him next week.
Apologies to Wonder, we ran out of time. We'll see it next week. Yeah, really what it is just getting schedules aligned. You know, in a nutshell, the short answer is getting the schedules aligned so that we can get the team members that are working on that and that are heavily involved in that, we can get them on here. So we'll make sure that happens next week. And again, apologies. Okay, if there's nothing else, let's hit it, Wayne. What do you say?
So, you know, I was listening to the Hacks podcast, some of those back issues, and you know, Tom and Chunga talking about the military here and there, and you know, I just really want to know, can somebody please tell me what the lowest rank in the military is? Because every time I ask someone, they say it's private.
I thought Shane would laugh harder at that. I thought Shane would really laugh.
It hurts.
All right, well done, Wayne. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for attending Salt Project Open Hour. Again, we'll see you on November 3rd. We will have the Wonder thing, Gary. I promise. I promise we'll have it one way or the other. And I hope everybody has a great Halloween. We'll see you on the next one. Keep spreading the good word of Salt, and we'll see you later. Have a good day.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.